Well, good morning, everybody. I wasn't planning on making a video quite yet, but I decided to look for some pieces and parts to get together to do some work today and get that all ready to set up for a video. And I came across something that I had in my pile of goodies, which is this high gloss chrome from Autographics of California. You can see I spent a whole $1.95 on it. Probably cost me $10 for shipping, but who knows. But I've had this for quite a while. I just forgot about it. And I don't even remember what I bought it for. Maybe I was going to do a chrome roof on the LaFerrari or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, the cool thing about it is, take a look at this. Look at that light bucket compared to silver. This is going to be awesome to do my lights with down the road. Probably even try and stick this in the rear lights as well to get some reflection off of them when the time comes. I think this is going to be a game changer. So it's amazing what you come up with stuff you just have stowed away somewhere. And I'm sure you hobbyists have way more stuff than I do. So I'm always surprised that when I come across this was really, a gold mine for me, or a chrome mine. It's really cool, right? Look at the difference on that. I mean, it's just gonna reflect light beautifully off those light buckets. Makes me want to go and check out if I want to redo my LaFerrari light buckets, because I don't think they are gonna shine like this is gonna shine once I get lights in this. So I'm gonna continue on, since I got the camera on, and just show you what happened last night. I didn't want to bore you all with me peeling masks, and as it turned out, it took a lot of time. But you can see the results of my light bucket experiment. Now, it looks all pretty fine and dandy now. It worked out well. That is going to be what the light looks like. Sorry about that. Going to be what the light looks like, and you can see the difference already in the silver versus the chrome stickies. There's a chrome vinyl tape that does have a sticky back, by the way, and it's very thin, and you can burnish it in pretty close to the contour, as you can see. So I'll tell you, this was not easy. It looks pretty good now, but it peeled with a lot of flaws, particularly the back. When I peeled the liquid mask off of these sections, the silver paint, I guess I may have peeled it too soon. It's always a guessing game to me as to when is the appropriate time to peel a mask off. Because do you take too much of the surrounding paint, or you're trying to get a clean peel from the mask to the edge, and this did not peel cleanly. So what I had to do is go back with a very fine paintbrush and paint the inner circles by hand. And you can see they're not perfect, but when you look at them from this side, they look pretty good. And they'll look even better once I get the whole light fixture together. However, the black did turn out very nicely. That came out the way I had hoped. And if you see it in the car, that's what it looks like. So you can see that hides whatever sins that there are in there pretty well. It's but these took, I don't know, a couple of hours to do those two light buckets, to get them to work, to get them to look this nice. Had to do a little, this little guy here in the middle, this little amber light in the center there. That was a pain in the neck to get transparent and square. Just a lot of little things. You know, it's really like working under doing microsurgery or something. It's really, these are little teeny weeny pieces. When I see people making 1/43rd scale stuff and 1/64th scale stuff, I'm amazed, because doing these 1/12th and 1/10th scale models is tedious and tiny work enough for me. This is as small as I care to get. So, and peeling the body, some of it went well, just like everything, and some of it didn't. So here's what we've got. This all went pretty well. This is not damage to the Lexan, that's just damage to the wrap. It starts to get beat up. You know, you work on this thing a lot, you flip it around a lot, and edges start to get beat up. And so after I peeled everything off last night, this too needed a lot of work. I spent hours cleaning and repainting edges with paintbrushes all over the place. I still may go back in and do some taping. I've got some white tape that I might use to make these edges more perfect. As I feared when I was painting it, if you watch my painting episode where I did this, I was fearful that some of this was bleeding, and in fact it was. And it was a lot worse than what you're seeing here. I did a lot of cleanup work. Unfortunately, the cleanup work, you can only do so much because this paint does not like to dissolve. In fact, the only way you can really dissolve it is to apply some wet paint with a brush over the area you want to remove. And while it's still wet, you take a cloth and paper towel and wipe away the excess that you want to wipe off. Really difficult, and you can do more damage than you can do help. But the good news is it doesn't mess up the clear of the Lexan. The other thing that doesn't mess up the clear of the Lexan is as soon as you do that and you get as much paint as you want off, you can go back in while the paint is sort of like fresh and use this thinner very, 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 very sparingly on a little tiny piece of, paper towel that you make a little point out of, and start wiping that into that area to finish the cleanup. This will not damage the Lexan. It keeps, as you can see, you don't see any issues with it being not clear. This still has a protective film on it, and that's why it's cloudy, but it's fine. It was undamaged. Do not use anything else. This will not dissolve the paint, however. It only kind of helps to, it's like, using your paper towel as a wet sander, if you will. You obviously don't want to scratch the Lexan. This gives you some slip and slide against the Lexan while you're trying to remove the little bit of film that's on left over from trying to remove the paint with paint. So literally, I had lots of different colors. Here's the idea of about the thickness of what I was using, and just literally dipped the tip of that in the thinner and went along the inside edge here. And I mean, this took, just to do this, probably took 20 minutes to get off you really are like removing molecules at a time. It's not easy, but I sprayed some spray in of various different colors that I used. Here's some black that I touched up with, white. And the problem yesterday was I was out of paint for every color. No blue, no white. I was literally trying to get dust out of these paint cans to give me enough paint to go back in and do touch-up work. I've ordered 2 new cans of these just in case I make a boo-boo along the way and I need something. But they came out okay. Here's the wing. Once again, it's still wrapped, so you can see there's the shiny side that was painted. Rear wing, this is another piece of the rear wing, and that came out pretty good. That's, once again, this is just the wrap that you see that's causing all the imperfections. These guys, these hulls back here, wow, they were a pain. They look pretty good now, but these ducts were a nightmare to peel off the liquid mask. I guess in this case, I had waited too long. I let the white dry for several days. It's in this plastic and this Lexan. It's hard as a rock in there. It's adhered. And removing the liquid mask, even though it was on thickly, it did not come off easily. In contrast, I did these yesterday morning and peeled them off after I did the blue in the video. I peeled these off last night and they came off relatively easy and they kept the edge. It's just kind of the luck of the draw as to when to peel these off, unfortunately. And the underside here, you'll see this was a bleed I was talking about. Even it came all the way out to here, so I got it back to there, and I'm going to try and clean that up a little bit further if I get some white paint. So I might not even deal with that until next week because I want to maybe just dab a little white paint on the edge. Try and clean it up with a paper towel, and then go in and hit it with thinner as I told you. My rear lights came out good. The liquid mask worked really well. As you can see through them. That worked really well. And I'm gonna go and put chrome, which is gonna be a little trickier than because they're so small. But I'll try and get some chrome in the backing plate of those light fixtures today as well. And, you know, it's the body in white. It came pretty good. I can't wait, you know, I'm dying to peel this top layer off to see the real nice finish underneath, but I have to resist. We've got a lot of building still to do, and if I do that, I'm going to start scratching up the Lexan, and that'll be permanent once that's done, so I don't want to do that. I've got to resist. Not sure what I'm going to do with these. I photographed in detail this radiator inlet right there and there. And what I was going to do is similar to what I did on the LaFerrari, and that is to take the photographs, print them out to scale, and sort of make a little shadow box where I mount them into in there. And I did that on the LaFerrari's engine compartment, and it looks pretty cool. So I think I'm going to do that here. I don't know when I'm going to get to it because I don't have a printer, and you know, I may have to print these out at the office, but I can't go to the office. I'm allowed to do that, by the way. I can use it for limited personal use, so I'm not doing anything bad. It's just one of those things that I'm going to have to sit on for a while, and I really got to clean up these edges. This is very disappointing because usually, if you look at the windshield, it came out pretty good. This is the Tamiya provided masks, and usually they're much cleaner than that. So I don't know what happened there, but I'll get them cleaned up. I'll get them looking better. I'll either do it with a tiny pin stripe of black tape to sort of emulate rubber seals, or the white tape. And because I've got this really thin white tape and it's vinyl and it looks really nice. This I would go in from the inside. If I use black, I'll do it from the outside. This is going to have a big white decal over it that says Porsche. So a lot of this will get covered up. That's why I'm not even worried about this, because that's going to have a sticker that goes all the way across and into the windshield, that kind of is a sun visor that says Porsche. So in my next video, which I'll probably do a little bit later today or get started on, is going to be the interior. I'm going to start working on that, trying to cut out the pieces and parts I need to make somewhat similar interior based on what I have. I might have to, I don't know, I got to make a dash. The dash is curved, and this is a piece of the LaFerrari's driver's interior, but I'm thinking, boy, that's pretty close if I cut it, because it comes to about here. So if I cut this out, I might actually have what I need to make the dashboard for this car. And then cut it, you see this line? That line is almost perfect to where the dash is, and you put a few jewels, if you will, of different color lights to emulate some of the buttons and stuff there. And then that would go over top of this piece, which I also have to cut to width. If you look at how it would fit, you can see that it's got to be trimmed. It's already interfering with radiator ducts and what have you. So I got a lot of cutting to do. I may do that on camera, may not. Some of it I probably will, or some of it I'll just show you the aftermath of what I cut to size, because this has got to have a lot of trimming. Plus I've got to build like a little wall here, kind of a firewall separation here, and because part of this is silver in the car and part of it's black, so I've got a couple of masks to do and stuff to sort of emulate what's going on inside the real interior. But we got our work cut out for us, and that's what my day is looking like. There you go. This is some radiator screen as well. I may use this when it comes time to make these ducts here. I may use some of this to add yet a little more realism to the photographic images that I might lay behind this. You'll see. I've got this crazy idea in my head. We'll see if I can make it turn it into reality. But I am sort of turning my crazy ideas into reality because, hey, look, this is going to look cool as can be when it's done. Thanks for watching as always. I appreciate you guys giving me some views. I'm not, turning thousands of views. You got just a handful of people that like to watch something like this, that it might do something for them. But I appreciate that, and hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again.